Hey everybody, it's Hydrocephalus Awareness Month. So I thought I'd jump on here because I have that, along with Spider Bifida. I don't know if you can see where it is in my head. It's right about there, but it's like a tube that goes from my head, and right here you can see scars from where they've inserted it, and it goes into my stomach cavity. Currently, it's been like in my lung area before, one side and then the other. It looks like this. It's this long tube, just stretches through my body, and what it does is it drains the fluid, the excess fluid from my brain to the rest of my body to be absorbed into the rest of my body, because it's supposed to do that on its own, but sometimes it doesn't do that by itself. Sometimes the body doesn't do what it's supposed to do. That's how my body mostly functions. So the shunt does that. It drains the fluid. Although sometimes it will malfunction. It could break or become clogged, and I get a massive headache, and I also get lethargic, cranky, cognitive issues. Like, for example, one time we were playing Uno, and I was putting down all the wrong cards, and I was being like really enthusiastic about it. I remember that. I'm like, oh, this is the right one, and I put it down, and everybody looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, that's not correct. And then I remember I got up and I stumbled for no reason whatsoever. So there's that. Like I said, lethargy. I just want to sleep. I just want to be left alone to sleep. It's not fun. But by now I'm used to the procedure to have it fixed. There was one time where it was really severe. Like when it was in my chest, there was just fluid buildup in my chest. And I remember I had to stay laying flat most of the time in a hospital bed. I can't remember how long, and so it could drain slowly. I don't remember the reasoning behind it having to drain slowly. There's probably a really good reason. If you know the reason, please put it in my comments section. It was a really long time ago, so I don't remember that. My last one that I had done was in 2015-16, and that was a relatively easy one. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and do that. I might do some more facts about it later on. Hydrocephalus story time. It was 2006, I believe, and I was volunteering at a school that I had attended from 5th to 8th grade. And I worked the lunch line, and I made sure the kids got their milks and their condiments and everything. And they were allowed to have as many ketchup packets as they wanted, which was crazy to me, but they were pretty good about not taking a whole heck of a lot. So at one point, I started having shunt malfunction symptoms, and I think I ended up being out for like 2 weeks. I don't know if that was the time that I had to have it drain slowly, like it had to be outside my body and drain slowly. That might have been it, because it shouldn't have been 2 weeks. Anyway, I get back, and they're only allowed to have 2 packets per student, maybe one more if they didn't have enough with the first 2 packets. I found out why was because while I was gone, they had a ketchup war. You can just imagine it. Oh, goodness. Just imagine them in the room where they ate their lunch. They came into the gym to get their lunch, and then they take it into the little cafeteria to eat the lunch. I can just imagine them running around the table, squirting each other with ketchup packets. Like, you guys, I was gone for 2 weeks. What happened? So, yeah, it was so hysterical. I couldn't believe that happened. Well, apparently I did. And they were only going to have 2 packets after that. Tried to record this with 1 minute, but I did not have enough time. Another hydrocephalus story time. The most recent malfunction that I had in 2015 or 16, I had to find a whole new doctor because my previous doctor, who I loved, ended up joining a medical council of some sort, and it was further away. And so bummed as I was, I had to find a different doctor, and I found one. He's reputable, good doctor, but when I met up with him, he wanted to wait until I was having more symptoms like being lethargic and throwing up. At the time, I was just having headaches, but I had waited and I evaluated my headaches because I know I have different types of headaches. I have cluster headaches when I get like stressed out at the back of my head. I have headaches where the shunt is affected by weather changes. I can explain that in a different video too. Dehydration is another headache type. And I figured out that it wasn't any of those. But he wanted to wait, and I disagreed. I was like, no, I want to nip it in the bud. I mean, I don't want to have to go through all of that. I don't want my parents to have to watch me go through all of that. As I've been stubborn about going to the doctor in the past and waiting until I'm way worse. So I wanted to be a grown-up and not do that. So, luckily he didn't fight me on it. He was like, okay, I get you are the patient, you know what your body is doing, which is nice because a lot of doctors are like, no, I know better than you do. It's not always the case. So he went ahead and he did the shunt replacement. I think it was replacement. It was either replacement or revision. I can't remember. It was one of those. I think it was a replacement. But yeah, so advocate for yourself. You know your body. You know your symptoms. Especially if you have a disability like mine. You know what certain things mean when your body is reacting a certain way. So advocate for yourself. Don't let the doctor bully you into doing something you don't want to do. And don't let them brush you off either. Okay, bye. So, I just wanted to talk about my last shunt revision. I had a doctor who insisted that I have like a big bandage put over my shunt incision for a few weeks afterwards by home care, and my home care nurse was very nice. He was very apologetic for having to pull my hair because the adhesive would get stuck to it. It was giant. I swear it was at least as big as my hand. And so I just wanted to show some of those pictures of the knitted caps that I wore during that time, and some examples from when I was little. My mom would have me wear hats because when they would do the shunt revisions, they would shave the whole side of my head. So I'm going to show those. Like this one that I'm wearing in the hospital. That's my dad. That's my daddy. But then there's also this one. I don't know if the hat is for covering up a shunt incision or not. That's just an example. This is how they set me up right after the procedure. This is after I took the thing off. Isn't my hair lovely? This is one of the knitted caps that I wore to cover the massive bandage that the doctor insisted I had to have. This was in the summertime too, so my head sweated a lot, which was really great for stitches. It's just wonderful. But yeah. I had a bunch that I had made, and then I borrowed a bunch from family. So I had like a different one every day. But yeah. I don't know why he insisted that I have that big bandage on my head. There was literally no reason for it whatsoever. So I made the best of it. Okay, so I wanted to do a video on my type of shunt and then do a video on the other types of shunts as well. I have a VP shunt, and this is how you... Can I get it to say this? I'm going to add in the voice thing right here. Wonder if she'll get it right. But it drains the fluid, the excess fluid from my brain into the abdominal cavity. Here's an illustration of what it looks like. We got the short catheter and then the valve, which allows for programming it. The type that I have, you program before it's sewn up inside, just under the skin, so that it drains a certain amount at a time. There's another one where it can be programmed anytime in the doctor's office. Let me a little picture of me. Um, and then there's the long catheter, which drains the fluid into the abdominal cavity, where it's absorbed into the body. Here is the actual like device itself. There's the shunt valve, and then the catheter that's in the part of my head, and then it's called the distal catheter, which is the long part that drains into the abdomen. Broken. When it's malfunctioning, it's either clogged or broken, and it can cause any one of these things. When you combine the headaches and the trouble urinating or urinating frequently, growing up, many ER resident would just say, "Oh, you just have a UTI," and would send me home on antibiotics just for me to come in a couple days later, way worse than I was. And they would even do the x-ray on my ventricles to see if they were enlarged. And they would say, yeah, they're a little bit enlarged, but it's probably just a UTI. And they would always be wrong. So yeah, I have a distrust of residents. But here is an example of a normal ventricle and the enlarged version. But the headaches can also be, the shunt is being affected by atmospheric pressure. But I know the difference between the two. 36, so yeah, I should know the difference. But yeah, there's some facts about the type of shunt that I have. Okay, so I found some TLI makeup effects. So we're gonna see that throughout this video. But I finally got the voice thingy to say my type of shunt properly. So here's a video of that.
Ventriculoperitoneal.
So here's another one.
Ventriculotrial.
That kind drains from the brain into one of the heart chambers. Then there's a third kind of shunt for hydrocephalus called
Lumboperitoneal.
And that third kind drains from the lower back into the abdominal cavity.